This bag is no joke. And the configuration of our basement is so 1905. Whew. It's chilly out here. This is the brand that we're going to be trying this year. It's coconut coir, so we're trying to go peat-free this year and moving forward, but it is going to be a little bit different than what I'm used to. Coconut coir, aged forest products, perlite, and fertilizer. So I think this is going to work. Okay. I get really down here. I don't usually wear gloves, but it is relatively cold out here. For Wisconsin in the middle of January, it should be a lot colder. It's probably 30s something. So I'm wearing these to protect my fingers because they are really, really cold. I don't also usually mix outside, but it's so much easier with the dirt just to sweep it off than to like have to clean up the basement. So I'm taking advantage of this weather. It is actually supposed to snow 3 to 5 inches starting tonight into tomorrow. So it's a race against time. Let's go. So far the mix looks really good. I probably should have sifted it before I started, but oh well. I'm gonna switch to the big tripod, get some close-ups of me getting the dirt in there, and we'll tamp it down. Then we'll bring all of those inside and we will start to sow our first seeds of 2023. So you can see those sleds behind me. Guess how many days the trails have been open for us to go sledding. And the trail, we can connect right down there. It's super close. I am ridiculous with these on. How many times? Goose egg, mid-January, and no snowmobiling yet. So we are patiently waiting. I don't think we're gonna get enough of the right snow coming in the next couple days. I think it's gonna be more slush, super dense, probably really icy. So I don't know. I really want to get out at least once, but the trails only opened a handful of times last year and it's trending more that way. It's just, we're not getting as much snow as we used to, or as much as I remember when I was a child. So anyways, that's the deal on the sleds. Okay, I've got my 200 cell plug tray. I'm just going to take some scoopfuls and fill it up, flatten it out or level it out, tamp it down a little bit, fill it up a little bit more, and then get them in their bottom trays. And then I'll just stack them up, bring them inside. I am so excited. I cannot contain my excitement to get my hands dirty. Well, sort of, it's freezing. But yeah, I'm so excited. This is like what I have been thinking about and dreaming about since we pulled up the dahlias and put the farm to bed. Probably almost 3 months ago. So yay. This is why you tamp it down. It looks like these are all full, but they're not actually full enough. Some of these edge ones typically, so I'll fill some more in here and then we'll get this all nice and flat. Definitely see the benefits of a greenhouse and having a big space to work. It's really nice to do this outside. So all done. We've got 13 trays. They're 200 cell plug trays. They are for all of my Lysianthus. I think we have 2,500. So I'm going to start that. And I also forgot I need to start eucalyptus now as well. So I think I'll probably do those in 72. I have to go check my chart and see what I have decided, which cell tray size I've decided to put the eucalyptus in. But I'm just going to start with the Lysianthus because that's really what I've got time for. I've got an afternoon meeting and then a meeting early evening with our builder. So I'm gonna do this now and then we'll just play it by ear. Hello, oh my gosh, this is such a weird angle. So it's a couple days later. We did end up getting that snow, probably 2 to 3 inches, not very much, super heavy, super wet. And then the temperature got really warm. So most of it melted, at least on the roadways and walkways and all that kind of stuff. We ended up seeding 9 of these trays last night. We were feeling in the mood, baby was in bed, kids were watching a movie, and so we just went to count. It actually took us only about an hour and 15 minutes, and then I spent like another 10 minutes doing one last tray. Okay, first of all, this is how John opened the packets. That is just insane to me. Okay, so to recap, we are growing 3 different varieties, and that's just basically to help with staggering the harvest times. I think the earliest series is the Echo, and we've got a couple colors in that. That's what I'm gonna be finishing up sewing today. I've got pink and lavender, and I did white and I think champagne last night. And then I've also got the Voyage series. I've got a lot of colors in that, and I bought most of the packs with 250 pelleted seeds in it, so they took up a lot of trays. And then the last variety is the Arena, and I think that's gonna be the last to bloom if I'm remembering things correctly, and I just have 2 varieties of that. I got the gold and I believe the pink. So anyways, I'm just gonna finish up here. These seeds are from Swallowtail. They came in packs of 25, so I actually have 3 packets of each variety. They'll both fit in here. I like to write up all my tags before I even do anything. Then it's really easy, and they don't get, like last year I would write them as I'm seeding the tray and then my hands would be dirty or whatever. And so I just like to write them beforehand. I also have this little tiny, I don't know, I think it's to my child's kitchen playset, but I can see all the different colors. The seeds are usually either like a yellow or a white that I've experienced. So I can see both of them in here. And then I've got a little jar, a little bowl of water and a toothpick because I don't want to lick it. I'll stick the toothpick in the water, and it's easier to grab the seeds one by one. You just want to make sure that there's not like too much water on here if you can, because I've tried to go and grab one and then it just melts the pelleted seed, and then I don't know, you can't do anything with it. Stick my signage in there, and I would highly recommend, I said it when I was mixing the potting soil, but you really want to sift this. These trays are just so small, and then the seeds are so small that I'm really worried that when they germinate, they're not gonna be able to root because they're gonna be so small amongst all these like big pieces. I don't know if like a homesteading store or your local nursery sells those, or if you have to make it. I've seen both versions, and I just don't know where people get them from. So I am going to have to do some research, because yeah, for the smaller seeds and these smaller cell trays, it's like one little piece of like broken down wood or coconut. It just takes up the whole surface area on top. So I'm just gonna pick out the ones that I can see, but I worry. Oh well, something to put on our list for mistakes made for 2023. If you can see it, that is 75 Lisianthus seeds. They are tiny. So some of the coating on the pellets is better than others. Some of them are super staticky, which I don't love. Like these are super staticky. Oh my gosh. So it's gonna be kind of a crazy year this year. I'm tired kind of just thinking about it. There's a lot of moving pieces. There's a lot going on. We are, hopefully, if everything goes to plan, we're gonna be building a house out in the country this spring. So that's super soon. That's like in 12 weeks. And there's a lot to do, obviously, with just creating a plan and then meeting with, I don't know, kitchen and bath and all that kind of stuff, and picking out tiles and flooring, and that's a lot of work in and of itself. John and I will both be working full time. Obviously, we have the flower farm that we're going to be doing. We homeschool as well. It's just, there's a lot of moving pieces, and I worry, though. I know we've been working towards this for a really long time. When we started dating in 2008, we knew that we wanted to eventually live in the country. And we were able to make that happen in 2016. But I never really loved that house. I loved that it was in the country. I loved the view. I loved the size of the house. There's plenty of room for all of us, but it just didn't meet like our personal needs and our goals for just our long-term goals. So anyways, we moved out of that house, and you know, we really focused on our debt and getting money saved, and we were really close to pulling the trigger actually in 2000. I mean, we were going to pull the trigger in 2020. COVID hit and timber prices just started to fluctuate so greatly, and we just didn't have the capacity to deal with that fluctuation. Like, we were at the top of our budget when we were going into the build, when we got our bids in, and we just couldn't take the risk of having to come up with like another 20 or 30 or 40 grand, because by the time it was all said and done, lumber was insane. So we had to kind of walk away from that, and we purchased this house, which was way smaller than the needs of our family. Then we added another baby who was actually born here in the room right there. And so it's just been really tight. And so we're really excited to get out, but I don't know, the process of doing that is going to be really challenging. Oops, I got to put in my new sign, Echo Pink. Anyways, we are going to rent this space. So we're going to keep this property as an investment property. That's something that's also always been on our list. When I was in college, I found what is her name, Susie Orman, and I don't really read much of her stuff now, but at the time I was blown away. I knew nothing about money, and she was talking about all sorts of money things, and this was like the first time that I actually was hearing about saving and investing. And anyways, it led me to start really getting into understanding money and budgeting for our family. And so here we are. It was something that we've always wanted, and we're in a market that, you know, there's lots of people looking to rent. There's not a lot of housing. I mean, people can't build housing as fast as people need it. We've just got a huge influx of people. Like I said in my other video, just a lot of people coming to the area to work. And if we can, we're going to rent this house, and that requires us to move. So we're actually gonna move next door. It's a duplex, and it's a 2-bedroom, and I don't know what the square footage is. Very small. It's way smaller than this. So we're in the process of packing a lot of our stuff and getting that into storage, and also trying to work with some property management teams, because we really want to have nothing to do with coming over and having to fix this or do that. We did that with our old property when we rented it, and it's not fun. If we can pay somebody else to do it, that's what we're gonna do, because our main goal is to just have people continue to essentially pay off our mortgage, and then when the opportunity presents itself, we'll probably sell. But that's a long-term. This is a long-term investment. We're planning on holding on to this property for probably like at least 5 years. But anyways, the whole thing will involve a lot of planning and coordination and movement, and it's going to be tight. And then there is access. We want to keep, like, obviously the back 1/4 acre so that we can continue the business and have that be in flower production. There's like a back access that's like shared between the two properties, so it will be somewhat perfect. It is ideal, but then where do we put together all the market bouquets? Where do we do wedding stuff? The basement is open and full, but the only access is through the back door, down a set of stairs, down through another door. So it's worth it. Like I said, this has like been a 7-year endeavor. We walked away from our house in 2017. Okay, so 6 years. We walked away in 2017 knowing that it just wasn't for us, knowing that we wanted something different, and we just kind of took the first step. We didn't know what that was gonna look like, but we knew that we had to tackle our debts, which meant we had to move out, and we moved into a townhouse. We eventually ended up moving with John's mom, moving in with her in her condo, and it's just been a really long road to get here. And so I try to keep that at the forefront of my mind when things get challenging, which it's only going to intensify. Oh, I am so nervous. But we met with our builder on Wednesday, and he had a lot of great feedback to our layout. We've changed it a little bit from the last time we were with him in 2019. And you know what? Looking back on it, I'm glad it happened the way it did, because we got obviously this property out of it that really has added a lot of value to our, I don't know, financial profile, but also changing the design and now having this flower farm in mind, it'll really work in our favor. We also decided to go from a 2-story to a ranch, kind of just looking into the fact that our parents are aging, and I don't know, I'm just not really sold on nursing homes. I would love to be able to have them live in our house with us, if it came down to it. So I don't know, I think a lot of things ended up working in our favor. It's just hard to see that stuff when you're in the midst of it, but it's not really up to us to decide how we get to our goals. It's really just up to us to dream and then take those first steps and take that first action. And I don't know, so many bricks have been laid in front of us to take that next step, and a lot of it is blind. And you know, I have never felt ready to take those next steps, and a lot of that just has to do with like faith, honestly, just knowing that, like, I don't know, the universe has got your back, and even though something looks like kind of a mess, you go with it and go for it anyways, and it ends up being a huge blessing, and it totally makes sense in hindsight. So keep you up to speed with all that's going on with this flower farm, and then as we move the flower farm and as we grow our business and build our house. I don't know, it's just, I think it's kind of fun to document those kind of things and share them with people. And you know, one of my biggest, I don't know, callings or purpose, I feel like, is to motivate people and inspire people, and to give people permission to dream and go for their goals. And you know, I want to show what that looks like. And it's not linear, it's not straight, it's not easy. At times it's not fun. At times you want to quit and you lose sight of what you're doing and where you're going, and you get tired, you get lazy, you get unmotivated. And I really just want to show all of that because we have experienced all of that. Anyways, I feel like I'm slightly losing it. I'm gonna finish my coffee. I'm gonna take these downstairs. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and helping me seed Lysianthus, and for listening to me drone on and on about my fears and my hopes and my dreams. So anyways, here is to having a great weekend and really going for it. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.